by the Clark County School District faculty, Society for Information Management Las Vegas chapter members, and city staff on Cyber Academy program, which provides students with an enhanced understanding of technology. This is in Ward 1 with Councilwoman Tarkanian. And I understand, Councilwoman and Mayor Pro Tem, that you wanted to introduce this, so let me turn this over to you, please.
Yes, Mayor, because you have given us such a strong emphasis on the initiative of education, and because I'm a former teacher and everything, we spend a lot of time in Ward 1 pertaining to education. It has been 11 years since I began the KEEN, or Keeping Everyone's Eyes on the Neighborhood initiative, with former Clark High School principal Ronnie Smith. In that time, the initiative has taken care of many immediate needs of that area, which was considered one of the most needy areas in Ward 1. It increased crime prevention and enforcement, provided food, clothing, and Christmas gifts to those in need, and even opened medical and dental clinics in the neighborhood. And this was all through KEEN working with Clark High School, the city, together. In January 2014, I asked staff to think of new ways to engage this neighborhood, and in particular the young people, helping them to be able to prepare themselves to obtain jobs immediately after high school for those who were not going on to college. As a result, we created the KEEN Technology Initiative and worked with our city's IT department to ensure that we provided an after-school technology program to expose non-magnet high school students to technology. Since that time, that initiative has evolved into what we call the Cyber Academy program, which is going to present today. I just want to tell you that we are so grateful for the assistance of UNLV, the young men who are going to represent UNLV today, who gave their passion because they believed in what we were doing to help others, who gave their intellect because they're all great in technology, and also to Pat Cabrera, who has worked so very hard to put this together. So Pat will provide a background on what this is first before we delve into the specifics.
So if you will, too, as you come to the microphone, thank you so much. This is really a wonderful, wonderful, exciting project that you've been involved in. So each, if you will, introduce yourself. We don't need addresses, just names, please, and your position.
Okay, and I will step through that, Mayor. Thank you, as we go through the presentation. Good morning, Mayor and Council. My name is Pat Cabrera, and I am a business partner in our IT department. As Councilwoman Tarkanian explained, we began doing outreach to our students by way of the KEEN Technology Initiative in 2014. Since our IT department went through a change in management over the last several years, the initiative was resurrected last year and evolved into the Cyber Academy program. The goal then and now is to provide our students with an enhanced understanding of technology while making an impact on our local community. In working with Councilwoman Tarkanian and her staff, we added an elementary school to the process. The program has been a collaborative effort with the Clark County School District, the Clark County Election Department, city staff, and our sponsors, the Society for Information Management Las Vegas chapter, the Public Education Foundation, and C-Store. Mrs. Wagner, along with Principal Joe Pendleton, Assistant Principal Gina Ray, and Systems Administrator Ted Mills, provided unbelievable support to us at Clark High School. School Principal James Ametti and second grade teacher Claudia Quaresma have also been tremendous in their support and commitment to the program. As you will see throughout this presentation, this was a public and private partnership. To step through what the program entailed during the course of last school year, I would like to introduce the interns that helped make this possible. To my left, Mr. Larry Singh and Shante Christensen, and to my right, David Martin Vaquero and Miguel Carrillo. The interns are products of the Clark County School District and currently attend either CSN or UNLV. They started off as volunteers and are now part of our internship program in the IT department. They come from diverse, multicultural backgrounds and have the desire and passion for improving students' education through technology. This experience has helped them grow as individuals and as a team.
Good morning, Mayor and Council. My name is Larry Singh, and I'm a Cyber Academy intern in our IT department. Thank you, Pat Cabrera, for that background information. This was our first year developing the Cyber Academy program. With this program, we really wanted to do something different, something unique. We partnered with Clark High School and Rexville Elementary, which really aided with the success of this project. At Clark High School, what we wanted to do was integrate technology into a traditional classroom environment. And at Rexville Elementary, we really wanted to help the students increase their math scores and reading performances, while also introducing them to computers and technology and coding and programming as well. What we did at Clark High School was really unique. It was really exciting. We actually did a mock Senate election in Mrs. Wagner's U.S. government class. We infused the Nevada revised statutes to give the students a more real-life experience. All of the students had their own roles, they had their own responsibilities, they created their own real-world experience. And because they were peers with all of us, it really made them more comfortable to ask questions and ask for help. And that was another key thing that was pivotal to the success of this program. The students all learned that technology can be fun, it can be easy to use, and they gain the ability to research new tools and find new technologies that they can use in the future. They learn how to, they use this, in a normal government class, students would learn how to take tests or prepare for assignments, but we were actually preparing them for life. We were teaching them these valuable life skills on how to vote, how the election process works. We had 7 groups in total to mimic the different groups that would be in a real election. There were the political groups, there were the news group, the election department, the special interest groups. Each student had their own role to play, and they had a responsibility to fulfill, just as any other team in real life would have. This really added to the election process and made it more lifelike. And this wouldn't have been possible without a series of tools. Some of the tools that made this possible were Moodle, Cyberbank, WordPress, Open Broadcast Software, Crash Course Government videos, Kahoot Quiz, Google Apps for Education, and the most important tool of all was the actual Clark County voting machines, and that wouldn't have been possible without the support of Clark County. With these tools, the students were able to access assignments on demand anywhere. They didn't have to be in the classroom to continue learning. They had access to accounts, which enabled them to have transfer funds, donate to people, get paid for doing fulfilling their roles. They were able to put real websites together, just as any campaign would. They were able to broadcast live streams of the debates and speeches, much like CNN or Fox would do. And all of these tools really helped make this program real, and it gave the students an experience that they wouldn't have from a textbook or from notes or from a lecture. And by having the Clark County voting machines, they actually learned how to vote, and they became more civically minded before they graduated. A lot of the students graduated this spring, actually, and some of them are here today. They're now prepared with what it means to vote and all the things that go into actually running for office. The class that we did this program in was a really diverse class. Actually, 72% of the class were women, and women usually tend not to gravitate towards IT-related careers, but we wanted to change that. We wanted to show them that technology isn't really that daunting, and it's something that anyone can do just with a little help. And there's a really definite need for a diverse workforce, and that's why we wanted to promote that. And the best part of all was the average cost per student was only $11. And we were able to achieve this by using open source, free to use tools. These tools, and the students know how to access these tools so they can use it for future projects later on in life. If they're developing something, they can use all these tools. We also did a survey at the end of the program at Clark High School, and 30 students participated, and the responses were really good. It was really positive. The students really enjoyed what they did, and they learned a lot about how the election process works. They learned by doing, which is the best way to learn. Now I would like to welcome Mrs. Wagner, who is the lead teacher in the Teach Academy, as well as an instructor for the We Are Community program, as well as a U.S. government teacher. She will provide more insight and background into what she observed and her experiences.
Wonderful, wonderful report. Welcome, good morning.
Thank you for having us here this morning. I also brought along with me our oldest Keene member, my grandson Jace. So he's accompanying me this morning. Just want to thank you very much.
Jace, would you, excuse me one second, would you like to say your full name on the record so we can hear from you?
Jace Allen Preza.
Wonderful, thank you so much.
It's an honor to be here this morning and to speak about this incredible program. As being part of Keene in the initial cyber program that we had going, and then this year working with it in my U.S. Government Honors We Are Community program with the students who are here with me today, it was beyond words that can describe what these students were able to learn. Also, along with what they were able to learn, with these skills that they gathered from working with the interns, they also created a community. They created a community within that classroom. And you're talking about seniors in high school, which, you know, by the time the year rolls along, they just want to get out. These kids look forward to coming every day. They wanted to be involved. When the students noticed that their friends weren't in class, they were texting and calling them and saying, "Where were you?" So what this program did is not only give them skills, but it increased our attendance, it increased our graduation rate, and it created a community of learners that did not exist before. And so I'm very thankful for this program and what it did. We had a total of 39 students participating in the program. Every single student in the class graduated and is either going on to college or into the military. That's what this program does for our young people in the Clark County School District, and I'm honored to be a part of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and I see our trustee Kevin Childs over there, and I know how proud you must be of this as well, because it really is quite a remarkable program, and hopefully the future will spread the template for what you're doing into other schools and how you have achieved it. So let me return this back to you so you continue your presentation.
I just want to say one thing. There was one other thing you told me that I think was very important. What happened for enrollment in your class for next year?
I was told by our counselors and administrators that there were so many students signing up for my class for next year that they cannot possibly fit all of them into my classroom. There was approximately 60 students that wanted to enroll because they heard about the Cyber Academy program.
The word spread.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Ms. Wagner, for that lovely testimony. Good morning, Mayor and Council. My name is David Martin Vaquero, and I am an intern for the Cyber Academy program here at the City of Las Vegas in the IT department. Before I go ahead and continue with this presentation, I want to give a little quick backstory of why this program means so much, not just to me, but to my peers, my fellow colleagues, and everybody in the community that supported this program. Growing up was no easy task for me. I was an ESL student, so that meant that English was my second language. Of course, that came with a lot of challenges that I needed to overcome at school. I remember at one point I felt so discouraged to go to school or complete any of my assignments because I felt like I wasn't bright enough. I wasn't smart enough to get it done. I'm currently a college student at CSN, and it's been past a decade since I attended elementary school, and yet I still see many of these students facing the same challenges and barriers that I had to go through when I was younger. I believe that's the reason why I took an interest to the Cyber Academy program, because we wanted to ensure that we can impact the students' lives, as well as ensuring that the students succeeded academically. It is also one of the reasons why we decided to integrate the Kindle Fire tablet, a device that we knew what the students were capable of doing, as well as we understood that the students would get a positive feedback by utilizing this technology. We have two objectives at Rexbell Elementary. Our first objective was to improve the student performances in math and reading, as well as we wanted to ensure that the students understood how important technology is and how it impacts their daily lives. We wanted to give the students the necessary tools to excel in the workforce as they grew older. It doesn't matter what you decide to do in the near future, whether it's applying for a local job at a grocery store, or pursuing a career in IT, or establishing your own business. Technology is everywhere and it's everything, and it's crucial for these students to understand that. One of the great things about the Amazon Kindle Fire tablet is that it targets children of all ages. It gives them access to numerous of content that gets their attention, that grabs their interest. We utilized all the applications to their full extent. Applications such as Math Run or Fruit Ninja, which are basically math games, made the learning process for the students simple and easy, and it was fun for the students. As a matter of fact, many of these students never realized that they were actually learning. I think another factor that played a crucial role in making this program succeed for Rexbell Elementary was the fact that it provided access to thousands of resources with a touch of a button. We used a lot of online assessments, many of them which were fun. They're called Kahoot and quizzes. We utilized them in Clark High School as well. And these students had a great time using these assessments. They were always asking me, David, are we going to play Kahoot? David, are we going to play quizzes? And I said, yes, guys, calm down. We'll get there. But it's just their motivation to want to exceed, and that's what drove us to establish this program. In the second semester, we decided to fulfill our second objective, which was to introduce coding. We wanted the students to understand how to program a computer and understand how important technology is and how it plays a crucial role in their lives. Some of the tools that we used was Bitsbox, Code.org, Robot Turtles. So it didn't matter if the students were programming their own turtle from a board game or programming me, because I was actually a robot, and the students actually had to give me a set of instructions to get from one point to another. You're not going to believe how many times I crashed into the door. But it was that experience that the students got from having the opportunity to feel, having the opportunity to know what it feels like to be a programmer. That's an experience that many of these students will, nothing will ever take it away from them. And I'm proud that we did something like this with Rexbell Elementary. I kind of want to talk over about the demographics and the cost for Rexbell. As you notice on the chart on the left-hand side, it talks about the student population at Rexbell. Rexbell is highly diverse. It consists of 67% of the students are Hispanic at the school, followed by 13% blacks. The student lunch program, 88% of the students are eligible for free or reduced lunch. Why do I bring this up? Well, as you can tell from this data, many of these students come from low-income families, and especially for the Hispanics, many of their parents have migrated from a different country, so there's a lot of obstacles for these children when it comes to their education. These factors are one of the reasons why we decided to partner with Rexbell Elementary, because we felt that we can give back to the community and help those who desperately need our help. When we talk about the cost per student, it only costed $148 per student, and that includes the Kindle Fire tablet. I want to bring forward Mr. Ahmedi, principal of Rexbell Elementary, and he's going to go over a little bit of the data that demonstrate how effective the program was.
Wonderful report. Good morning, Mr. Ameti. How wonderful and lucky for you to be part of this all.
I'm very honored, actually, and I'd like to officially, publicly. Can you hear me? I'd like to officially and publicly thank Councilwoman Tarkanian for being our guardian angel at Rex Bell. If it wasn't for her, I don't know where we would be at this point, even with our new school. So, Lois, I love you. You're awesome. And Mayor, I think you're the best. You're just awesome. So, when I arrived at Rex Bell, when I was appointed to Rex Bell about 6 years ago, I walked into classrooms, and at the time, technology, we had the technology, the teachers had the technology, but they weren't utilizing it the way that it should be. And so, for example, their smart board boards, the computerized boards, were being used as bulletin boards. And so I'd go in and I'd hyperventilate because it was disparaging, because they were afraid of technology. And so we got them training for it. But as Councilwoman knows, engaging students is not an easy task. And when I walked into Ms. Quaresma's classroom, second grade classroom, every single student was engaged. And what I mean by engagement is they were focused in on what they were learning, and they were collaborating with one another. And again, that's not an easy task for second graders to do successfully. And they were excited about learning. And so I really got excited. And I really, again, like to thank Pat and the interns for breathing actually new life into Rex Bell. And every year I am charged with creating goals for the school. And so I had, for grades 3, 4, and 5, as you know, there is an assessment that has to be taken every year. And the goal that I set for reading was about 11%, which for the district, that's the norm. But in Ms. Quaresma's class, they'll be taking that state assessment this year. But we have an assessment called Evaluate, where we we have a barometer of, we use it as a barometer to see how the students are progressing with the Nevada Academic Content Standards, if they are being successful in mastering them. And so in Ms. Quaresma's class, in reading, her class went up over 20% in the school year, and in math over 40%. That is significant. That is significant. And so I got really excited, because you know how data is king. I thought it would be a great idea to see if we can expand this to the third grade, because third, fourth, and fifth grades are what count for the state assessment and for the rating of our school. So I'm very excited to find out that that's what's hopefully going to happen this year. And in third grade, the entire third grade will be part of this program. And so we'll really be able to see the impact, the positive impact that it will make for our children and ultimately our school.
How many, that meets every day for the third grade, for the current opening next week or 2 weeks out? Third grade will have it once daily or not? How often?
Well, we have to go over the twice a week.
Twice a week for how long?
For the entire school year.
But twice a week being, what's the period time?
Oh, isn't it about 45 minutes to an hour? 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
Congratulations, thank you. It must be very exciting for you.
Very.
Yeah.
Especially our new school. We won't have the Wi-Fi problems anymore, hopefully.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Mr. Ameti. I would also like to call Mrs. Quaresma. She is the second grade teacher that we integrated the program at Rex Bell Elementary. I think it's important to get her perspective and get her story because she was crucial to making this program succeed.
Thank you
Morning.
so much. And once again, thank you for picking us. You made me look good all year.
So I really appreciated that.
And if you'd repeat your name for it, the record.
My name is Claudia Quaresma, and I'm a second grade teacher at Rexbell Elementary.
Thank you.
The two biggest things that I really felt like the tablets gave us were that built-in engagement. He touched on it a little bit, but what I want to say about that is the Kahoots, the quizzes, they became my new bag of tricks. I added them in every single subject all day long. So while we only had the helpers the twice a week, I was using them all the time. And the kids couldn't wait to do it. They couldn't wait to beat their score. If they did poorly on it, you could go back and retake it. I also integrated through one of the things that David had shown me where it had memes. So if you got it right, you got the cute little meme. If you got it wrong, you know, the funny guy giving you a thumbs down. Definitely more exciting than just your average flashcards. Also, what I loved about it, every teacher in the entire universe struggles with how to differentiate between students. And at my school, my goal was, one, obviously to help all those low learners, but I was like, I do not want to see the top fall away either. I want those kids who come into me high to go out even higher. And that was the beauty of it, because I was able to differentiate with students. I could check their data on Monday mornings and move things up in a matter of seconds. So I could have 13 different levels of math flashcards going in the morning, and I could be pushing my highest kid well into third grade standards, where my lowest one had dignity and could be working on 1 to 7, because that's what he needed. And that was just huge. The other two things that I just want to talk about really quickly, I know you guys have a lot to talk about, were the exposure to the alternate learning styles. He talked about the David 2.0. My kids were really able to get into that really cognitive, high-level thinking that, frankly, I don't think they get exposed to without it. We were able to really research problem solving, look at different coding exercises, and I was able to move kids past the Lightbot Junior into the next level, which would be more of an intermediate skill. And you could see right off that some of the kids had a real talent for it. And also, I was surprised, the ELL piece of it, I used it at conferences, which I had 100% of parents come to my conferences. And I think that having the dojo and being able to send them, you know, updates electronically on their phones was huge. And then also, when the students were writing, I got some of my best writing because my students who really weren't proficient in English could kind of get close, and then it would give them that autocorrect and they could expand and really say some of the things that they wanted to say. So
Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful. It's absolutely outstanding. Is this particular model, this particular program used anywhere else in the country, or it's something that's been created here and you are looking to expand to other schools?
We are looking to expand to other schools, Mayor, and it is very unique. What makes it unique is the drive and passion of the people that you have in front of you, as well as the tools that we actually put together as part of the program. A lot of these things, I mean, we scrimped and scraped to ensure that we provided the program to the community, and I believe that it paid off based on the testimonials and the results that you're seeing today.
It's absolutely phenomenal. Wonderful. Please continue, David. You're doing great.
Thank you. I kind of want to wrap this up with our final observations, and eventually we'll talk about what's next and a video. What we observed at Clark High School was that these students were now more civically minded. What that meant is that the students understood how the political process worked. They understood how an official can get elected. They didn't need to necessarily read all of this through a textbook because they were able to relate to it. Another thing is that they acquired many real-world skills, such as developing websites, handling financial transactions, or even interviewing a candidate. These are some of the skills that the students can take anywhere in any place. Now, for Rexbell, what we observed was that the students were more motivated to do their work. They did not feel discouraged. They felt comfortable around us, and that eventually led to one of the highest growth in terms of their academic levels compared to the other second-grade classrooms at Rexbell Elementary. Another thing we observed was that we noticed that the students understood how important the technology is, and they were always asking us, David, can we take this tablet home? I want to do this and this and that. You'd be surprised how many things that children can come up with. They're so innovative. And now I want to pass on the mic to Pat Cabrera.
Considering the fact that we didn't really have a lot of money to start this program. You may be wondering what's next. We're going to continue to pursue sponsorships to expand the program. And, you know, as David alluded to, and Mr. Ameti and Mrs. Quaresma, the demographic that we're working with does not have the advantage of having technology in their homes. And so essentially we wanted to make sure that we have the opportunity to give these kids the ability to take the tablets home so that they can share them with their parents and their families. We will also be expanding to the entire third grade level, as Mr. Ameti alluded to, which is comprised of 6 classes, as well as continue in the U.S. Government Honors class for the entire school year. I really want to give special kudos to our sponsors. Without their help and assistance in terms of funding, this would not have been possible. We'd like to recognize the Society for Information Management Las Vegas chapter, the Public Education Foundation, and C-Store. And at this time, I want to call Mr. Joshua Levitt, the Vice President of the Society for Information Management Las Vegas chapter, to say a few words about the program.
Good morning, Madam Mayor, as well as the council. My name is Joshua Levitt. I am the Vice President of the Society for Information Management in Las Vegas, a chapter that was actually started by Joe Marcel, who's in the audience, and I believe at one time was CIO of City of Las Vegas. So it's quite an honor to be here. I want to, first of all, welcome our new council members as well as our new city manager, and put a big thank you to Lois Tarkanian, or to, Councilwoman Tarkanian, for championing this program, and for congratulations as well for getting your new appointment. That's very neat. Again, my name is Joshua Levitt, and SIM is a proud sponsor of this project, and we want to congratulate the team on their measurable success. We strongly believe that introducing technology like the Cyber Academy to the classroom is a pathway to a successful career, especially in Nevada's diversifying new economy. The Cyber Academy project showed us that we have the means through technology to keep students engaged and teachers in control by creating an interactive, rewarding, and dynamic learning environment. And with this, I want to kind of give an example. I actually had a chance to visit Mrs. Q's second grade class during one of her demonstrations. What I thought was remarkable, she had broken them up into separate little groups, and she was able to control basically the classroom from this one device. So as some kids, as she already sort of described it, were having some difficulties, she could adjust what they were learning. As some that were doing quite well, she would adjust it so they were more challenging. And what was really neat was there was a special girl that was sort of lost her attention. And so she was using the device, she started hitting it with her nose and playing with her fingers. I thought, well, she's lost, but no. The interaction of this device pulled her right into it, and she right back in there and started hitting those right answers. I don't know if it was because there was reward at the end, if it was because it was flashy, but I tell you, technology like this really is what this community needs. It's stackable with what the school district wants to do. Hopefully what they learn in elementary school, they'll learn in middle school, continue to high school, where they can then continue with certifications or job placement, internships, or higher education. Again, I want to thank everybody for the opportunity. Congratulations again on the success of this program.
Thank you for your sponsorship, and hopefully you will continue and expand it as you go forth.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. Mayor and Council, I wanted to direct you to this slide because it actually shows you all the people that have been involved with this effort. We could not have done it without their help. There are so many people, the City of Las Vegas, that actually collaborated with us to make this possible. And I'm going to call out Luann Holmes, our city clerk, and Stacy Campbell, our chief deputy city clerk, because they were instrumental in making sure that we followed the NRS for the election process. We also want to thank our partners at Rexbell Elementary, Clark High School, the Clark County Election Department for allowing us the use of the voting machines, as well as several members of the community that actually helped us test drive this before we launched it into the classrooms themselves.
And we prepared a short video to show everyone a little glimpse of what we did at Clark High School and Rexbell Elementary. Here it is.
What happens when your interns graduate? Are you training your next level of interns?
Mayor, yes, we are.
reporting live from room 209. Today we are going to witness an intense debate between the Democratic nominee, Deanna Mitchell, Independent nominee, Jimmy White, and Republican nominee, Kevin Andrade. Tonight we have the Independent Party, Jimmy White. This is Kevin Andrade from the Republican Party. Hi, this is Deanna Mitchell from the Democratic Party.
Wonderful, very good.
We'd now like to open this up for any questions or comments you may have about the program.
Thank you very much. It was a great presentation, and just I'm worried about the next generation. I'd start with the freshmen in high school and include them for internships so we can make sure that it can expand. Do you have enough people to go to the other schools and expand it? I think it's phenomenal.
Well, through the
Comments,
leadership,
questions? Yep.
I'm sorry, Mayor. Through the leadership of our director, our IT director, Michael Sherwood, we're making sure that we have an internship program that actually, reflects what you're thinking in terms of making sure our kids are ready for technology as they continue through their elementary and high school years.
Well, in the city also, knowing you gentlemen and what you do, we are embarking on preschool programming, and certainly knowing children who are 3, 4, and 5, young 5, certainly can get involved, and it would be wonderful if we can keep moving it down and then continuing adding grades a year through and into middle school. So comments, questions, anyone? They're cool. Everybody's cool. Councilwoman, Mayor Pro Tem, let you finish this up, and thank you all so much. We're so proud of you and just thrilled, and wish you wonderful futures as you go on into the next chapters of your lives. Hopefully it will always be in Las Vegas, though.
I just wanted to say that you give me a lot of thanks and kudos, and I appreciate that. But really, the success of all this is related to you. And our interns have been fantastic. The interns we had last year were very, very good. We're very, very fortunate to have that coordination. My feeling is, Mayor, if we're talking about doing more and working with the Clark County School District, I wanted to see if we could put something together that really made a difference. As a former teacher and administrator, I've seen a lot of programs that have been set, oh, they're going to be great and we're going to do this, but when you get right down to the testing, you don't see that big difference. Here we finally, and it wasn't at our first attempt, we've tried through the years, we have this now, and I'm hoping that the school district, I'm hoping that as we work with what we're doing and helping the school district, that some of this will be used. We already had the thank you to our partners that was shown on the screen. I wanted to say just a couple of minutes more. The reason why we're taking so much time is to give credit to all these people who have helped so long. There's Joe Marcella, who was chairman and past president of Information Management of SIM. Joe, you can raise your hand or everybody will recognize you anyway. And I believe we have Charles Hurley, who's the Clark County Assistant Registrar of Voters. We talk about the voter who doesn't know what the heck they're doing. We complain. We have an argument with the Republican, the Democrat, and Independent. Why not take the time to help youngsters understand? Our schools have been cutting social studies, civics, and this type of government class. We need this to maintain what our dependence is, our freedoms are within our country. So I just think it was so wonderful of everybody within the city and everybody within the county that helped these children learn how to vote. And was it exciting to them? Well, it sure was. If you have that many people that want to take the class, that you don't have enough room for them. And those who assisted with testing our concept were David Armenta, Navio Gill, Leonardo Porter, Ashley Perez, Aiden Perez, and Brenda Isabella Leva. The former interns for our school year were Daniel Alvarado's family. And you touched on something that I know our costs were low. What the heck, we have this money, we say we need money in the school district. This is money, $148 per child for seeing that much advancement in math, a 40% advancement in math. And these are things that I'm hoping our school board member over there will help follow through and maybe push and learn. We didn't want to give you something that wasn't tested. This has been tested, and that's why we wanted to cover this as much as we could for you so you would understand. I know the mayor was very interested. I don't know how interested others are, but this is, I feel, the key. The education is the key. We have Clark High School students here. I think there are 10 of them that have been in the previous program. Could you stand, please? Yes, and those are ones that, yeah. And all of you have helped. And from the city in Ward 1, we have an award for, some special awards for Pat, for Mike Ritz, Shante, David Martin Vaquero, Prolajab Singh, and I mispronounced your name, and Miguel Corello. But we have them here. We're going to give them to you just as our appreciation from the city for this. We also have some recognition surveys which will be given to you in the Now cafeteria, so don't forget to go to the Now cafeteria, those who are here. Pat, you've been magnificent. Joe, you helped us get started, and I am not a tech person. I'm probably the worst one up here right now as far as technology is concerned, but my mind tells me there's where the difference is. I saw some of these games you played, and I thought, oh my God, that looks like cartoons. You know, I'm used to having these great stories of the past, but this is where their minds are now. This is what, and look at the excitement and the joy that they showed in learning, jumping up and down. And when you go in there, they're all attending. That's very different for a second grade class, which has high-risk learners. And so I just want to tell you how much I appreciate what you did, and I know the mayor feels the same. Thank you so very much. Did you want to say anything else, Pat?
I just want to say that we really appreciate the support of the city. We have a tremendous employee workforce, and without your collaboration, this just would not have been possible.
This was it, looking for those who help.
Well, while Clark is in Ward 1, my 3 sons are graduates. So go Chargers. Thank you. Thank you all very much. A great report. And Trustee Childs, and you get it. That's the way schools work. You get great principals, great teachers. The wait lists are there, and that's how you measure great schools and great programs.
Kevin Child for the record, Mayor and Mayor Pro Tem, congratulations, newly members of the council. A thank you from the Clark County School District for what you do, or the partnership between the Clark County School District and the City of Las Vegas. I see each and every one of you be active in the school system. That's the way it works. So again, and thank you to the panel up here. Mrs. Wagner is an amazing person. She goes above and beyond what's called for a teacher. Miss Q, I see over here, another person. The principals at Rex Bell, Mr. Remedi. And here's what a tidbit is. Clark High School is the #1 magnet school in the nation. It's in the top 10 of the most challenging and rigorous high schools in America. Something to be proud of. As you, as being here on this board, a former trustee, this is some of the pavement that you paved for this to happen. So again, on behalf of the Clark County School District, thank you so much for what you guys do, and thank you for everybody that gets involved in public education, because it can work. And by the way, the cost would be about $41 million if we put that in the classroom. I do my numbers. But anyways, that's something that we need to start talking.
You mean every classroom?
Pardon?
If you put it in every classroom?
Yes,
yeah.
For every child, 322,000. That's a rough, but again, we need to start that dialogue with our legislative people also. This is very important.
And what you see that was good is they introduce it to the teacher carries it through, as she said, all the other days, and eventually she won't need the support help.
Well, and as you now know, 80% of the budget is in the hands of the principal, so go sell.
Here we go.
Go sell. Thank you.
So thank you again.
Thank you all. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Congratulations. You really are the creative geniuses of today and the future, and teachers and other Clark High. It's a great school. Congratulations. Thank you all for coming down and participating, and Councilwoman Mayor Pro Tem, awesome.
Yeah, I just want to tell you, we were a little nervous yesterday. And you guys, I want to tell you all, this group has practiced in this room so they could get, their minds are so tech-oriented, we had to keep saying, we got to get to it. But I just want to say you did fantastic, I think. Absolutely fantastic.
Thank you. Take your trophies. There's There's one extra. Thank you all. Thank you, Councilor.